Hello, I'm David Chaston with 90 at 9, brought to you by interest.co.nz. This is where to get everything you need to know in 90 seconds at 9 o'clock, including news. China is starting to get back to work this week after their annual Spring Festival break. And it has kicked off with a rate cut, making the announcement on the central bank's website. It says that the one-year bank lending rate has dropped 0.25% to 5.35%. This is the second reduction in 3 months and may bolster the case for the Reserve Bank of Australia to loosen monetary policy at its March meeting tomorrow. China's manufacturing PMI has come in slightly better than expected, but has still recorded a contraction in the factory sector. Any hint that China is slowing more quickly than expected will have a powerful influence in Australia. Markets are now betting that the RBA will cut rates tomorrow to 2% from 2.25%. The next RBNZ rate review is the following week on Thursday the 12th of March, when we get a full monetary policy statement. US GDP for the fourth quarter was 2.2%, beating the estimates of 2%, but that was a slowing from the third quarter of 2.6%. Growth of domestic demand was a standout given the low oil prices, although investment demand slowed. US consumer confidence was revised higher to 95.4 from 93.6 and beat the 94 estimate. A two-year upward trend has been re-established, and this is despite slightly higher local oil prices in February. In India, Prime Minister Narendra Modi delivered a pro-growth budget, although it did come with a larger deficit projection. Subsidies for the nation's poor are to be retained. He also cut corporate taxes and increased infrastructure spending. India is going for growth in an attempt to follow China and raise living standards in a substantial way. Huge infrastructure spending is coming, one that will likely have the same influence the Chinese one is having on world trade. Deflationary pressures may be easing in the Eurozone. Data for February from Germany, France and Italy showed inflation higher than was expected. But the ECB is still expected to downgrade its inflation forecasts later this week. US Treasury 10-year yields rose a tick in New York late on Friday and are now at 2%. The crude oil price is range-bound at just under $49 a barrel, but the Brent crude price has risen to over $62 a barrel. The gold price crept higher and is now at $1,214 an ounce. The New Zealand dollar starts the week at 75.6 US cents and has risen to a new closing high against the Aussie of 96.9 Aussie cents, and the TWI is back up to 79.3, a 6-week high. We also are at a post-float high against the euro at 67.5 euro cents. I'm David Chaston. That was 90 at 9, brought to you by interest.co.nz.